Welcome back, everyone, to the Halo World Championship 2024. As we get ready for the action, it's going to be Complexity taking on FaZe Clan here in some pool play action, getting closer to, you know, send a team home. And some of the
you want to get people out of here already?
Not really. I mean, up to me, everyone would win. Anyway, hello, everyone. I'm Golden Boy. You got Walshy over here. We're going to yap about some video games today, and it's going to be super fun. Glad you could join us here because we have FaZe Clan, your defending 2023 world champions, going up against a complexity roster, excuse me, that Dave. They ended up getting rocked by Kave, and now they're in a very precarious position.
Yeah, rarely did you think that you'd hear the phrase of, all right, if Complexity beats FaZe here, it's going to be a three-way tie in pools.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You wouldn't expect that sort of situation.
Wild, wild stuff. But here's the series layout. It's going to be Live Fire, King of the Hills, Slayer on Solitude, Strongholds Recharge, and if necessary, we'll be taking a trip over to some Forbidden CTF and closing it out with Streets Slayer. Now, there was something that I think, you know, Wes had pointed out on the desk, and he had talked about how he was a bit more, you know, bothered by the FaZe performance in the Akave matchup. And he was talking about how you wanted to see this team really come out of the gate swinging, be very, very strong. And that's what we saw when you and I had an opportunity to commentate FaZe over in the Bravo stream against TLF just a little while ago. They look strong. They look fierce. They look like they are so put together. And if their objective efficiency is as efficient as it was in that TLF game, this is going to be very hard for them to stop.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, we always go back to that talking point where, like, RyaNoob always finds a way to, you know, to bring his team together, find a way to, like, play that scrappy, objective playstyle. But there is a lot of truth to sentiments like that. And, you know, I've had a lot of rosters in the past where I'll bring together a group of players and we'll figure out that style together, and we build that together and make sure that we're not overslaying. Because a lot of times, too, outside of some of these very top rosters, like, you might have to go into certain matches where you realize, hey, we're just going to go slay for slay, and whoever gets more kills is going to win this game. They might be us in the objectives. It's going to be tougher to outslay them on a consistent basis.
Yeah, there are players on that Complexity side that can shock you at a moment's notice here with incredible plays or incredible shots. So let's see if FaZe Clan can manage to have a strong closeout to their pool, or can Complexity bounce back, because they need it. And what a way for them to do so than against the 2023 defending Halo World Champions in FaZe Clan, and to do it right here and now in pool play. Let's see as the players are getting loaded up, ready to go. It's time to start. Let's do this bad boy. We got RyaNoob on the screen, so let's jump right into the action. Actually, we got Frosty, who we were talking about him earlier, Dave, and Frosty was unbelievable in that TLF series that we saw earlier on in the Bravo stream. Let's see if he can continue that success. He already does so with a double kill to kick things off. Maybe looking to find himself a Tripski. He's got someone in front of him, but that is going to be Rayne who gets the melee there. It is going to be traded instantly, though, so job done.
Look at this, Renegade just helping set up this ammo, trying not to give any chance for Complexity to get back in this game. Looks like they know where the pressure's coming from. They just start to grenade that window, and it looks like Complexity able to get with a camo along with Breakingshot with a beautiful flank. Great play by Complexity right there to get 2 kills, get the camo, and now they're gonna get some hill time.
Yeah, the win condition there, don't let the sniper rifle be a factor. And they did that expertly with those spike grenades, with the flank from behind. That sets them up nicely here, but they're gonna need to play off of this. And RyaNoob with the camo could be a problem.
And this is awesome. RyaNoob just completely sweeps all the way out here towards cuts. His teammates don't have to worry about someone over at Mud, Nest, or Tower during this push. But what they do have to realize is big door and bags is trouble, and they can sometimes not stop all those members pushing out from FaZe.
Yeah, and FaZe, once those guns get hot, it's really difficult to shut them down. Breakingshot, though, is able to find himself a double kill off screen, courtesy of some shots that were there thanks to RyaNoob and friends. And even though RyaNoob's running into quite a few players here, I like the way that they're just playing in the face of Complexity, not giving them any space to breathe.
Yeah, rather than just holding a static defense, you see Complexity being offensive, pushing out, and it's easy when you have something like Breakingshot starting off this match. 9 kills, 2 deaths, more kills than the entire FaZe roster right now on the board. Breakingshot playing out of his mind.
My guy's trying to make a name for himself here today. Wants to see if he could try and shut down FaZe, get this first point on the board. So close for them, and Complexity are going to strike first here against FaZe Clan.
Let's see how he decides to play this. Perfect first hill there by Breakingshot and Complexity. I also like the fact that you only see 2 deaths on the board for RyaNoob, but he has 5 assists, doing such a great job pushing around the map. But as I was saying before we started hyping up Breakingshot there, the complexity strategy there was instead of holding back and holding a static step, they decided to push out one side, and once they met resistance, they would either fight or back off, or if they didn't see anybody, they knew where the push was coming from because they eliminated one of the options.
And the key was not to invest everything into that.
No, it's just almost like sending out a scout.
Yeah, which RyaNoob is perfect at that. He's perfect at that. He's one of those annoying players that difficult to kill, right? He's always made himself that. So when you put him in that position, and here he is with a camouflage yet again. This is where I do fear a little bit for FaZe, because in the last series that they had against TLF, they were controlling power items, power weapons very, very effectively. This time around, you got to expect that complexity will have their number when it comes to that type of utility efficiency by grabbing those items.
Yeah, and look at that. RyaNoob didn't even have the chance to really grab that sniper as he decided to opt to put a few shots of damage into another player there. But whose hands would you rather it be in? Maybe Breakingshot, since he's not missing, somehow hits Frosty in the knees right there. And somehow Complexity's also able to even out this hill. But with all 4 going down, I expect FaZe to close out hill number 2. A quick push. As they round out together, rather than leaving just one person on their own to go out from mud, they're all of a sudden running to a double team.
Yeah. That's where you got to be careful, because FaZe with a double team is diabolical. They will find those advantages, and they will take advantage of them whenever they're presented. And as we talk about the lead starting to, accrue here, it seems pretty good for Complexity out the break. But now you got FaZe looking to try and respond.
Yeah, FaZe off to a strong start here on this one, but don't worry about that clock down there. This is likely going to be decided by these next couple of hills.
Yeah, well, definitely going to be OT if it keeps going like this.
Yeah.
Man. This is going to be a nail biter for sure, down to the wire. But FaZe, if there's a team that can close it out in those vital moments, clutch up, it's what's won them championships. They would do it here, so Complexity need to be on their toes.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna see a repeat of our Optic match earlier, where they were just chill, like they kept the top center hill, and then we were like, are they gonna waste the last minute and a half? Instead, they went for the 4th and final cap instead of running off the clock. Like we said, after this top center hill, it would move towards green. But based on the pace so far, I feel like we're gonna see it decided here once and for all on this top center hill.
Man, I got to tell you, Renegade kind of ridiculous in that whole exchange there, doing everything he can to keep himself in the back of the base, but Complexity knew they had to just get him the hell out of there ASAP, and they're getting close to this one, Dave. They could get this lead.
Complexity put up plenty of points there. Also, it's interesting seeing Frosty dance back and forth over towards that hill. You almost saw that play from, I believe it was Huss, where he was like, something's too good to be true. I need to worry about my C-plat.
Yeah. Well, I think they cleared out SnakeBite, so that's going to leave it wide open. And Complexity are going to get that 3rd point. And with 38 seconds left on the clock, FaZe have no other choice. They got to play this.
Yeah, not impossible, though. As we talked about before, this B stronghold over at the back green is very concealed. So it's not like as safe of a spot where you can just pick off somebody like in top center.
And they have everything.
This is very possible here for FaZe to tie this up. But Complexity, they just need one big break right here. They need to get kills on this Camo player. They need control of Nest. What route do they decide? We'll find out.
A couple calls coming through there. You seen the tags? They're making halfway progress now. FaZe looking to come back. He's going to get one in the whack there, but he can't find the second. And instead, he's going to hit him with a Shoryuken off the map. But it is going to be FaZe still holding on to this one. Breakingshot looking to challenge, but SnakeBite with some good nade placement is going to prevent him from getting up onto that bridge. And he needs some help here to try and stay up.
And look at these routes he's taking. He's opting to hide over towards top green rather than bottom because he realized it's just a pure, easy sitting target at bottom green where he can't see where the threats or grenades are coming from. Instead, FaZe somehow capture that hill. We're going to a 7th and final hill here, Golden Boy.
Yeah, you called it, man. You were like, we're definitely going to be.
Yeah, I was like,
we're getting a few more hills here. It's going to happen.
It's tough. Like I said, like you go from the most exposed hill over in top center where things can go for quite a while, and then you go towards green where a team can just sit in. It's tough to get them out. They just have 3 main areas that they can sit on. They can sit on towards Nest side, Garage side, or at the bottom of green.
Next point's going to pick up the dub here. Bakery gun kill, and a little dicey there for a moment. And now we're going into OT. 2 minutes on the clock here. Who picks it up? FaZe Clan sitting in a decent position back of the tower here, but they got to be careful not to get a little overzealous.
Yeah, historically, last time we saw this, FaZe Clan took the C plat hill right here. After they had such a strong start there from Complexity, FaZe were able to answer back and get the second hill, and they're already off to 50+% on this hill number 7. I don't know how Complexity are going to break out of this one. Looks like Huss and Rayne get a couple kills across the map, and they break through the tower. Roll to the Oil Alive over at Silo. Wisely backs down. He can't just sit and camp at the spot, and eventually gets hunted down by Breakingshot. Player that's going absolutely off the sniper earlier. Can he be the hero for a team at the end of the game?
Well, they are going to be able to get that sniper rifle back in their hands again here. Get a body shot for him. That's Frosty. We saw what he could do with this weapon last time it was in his hands in that TLF series. He was unfreaking believable. A body shot for him there, but Huss is there for the immediate pickup. RyaNoob's got the camo. Could be the difference maker here, Dave.
They know where pushes can come from. Looks like SnakeBite is found over the dummies, and you know he needed that finish. It's going to be tough. You got to take the jump up. There's too many long
They got control.
But all of a sudden, RyaNoob decides to make the long flank. Gonna go through pillars, gonna go through door. And you gotta wonder, is he out of the fight for too long? He's able to get that first pick, but right now, FaZe have the numbers advantage on top of the map. But I guess if they get filtered down to you and scared out, it doesn't matter.
It could very well be it.
Somehow.
This is now, it is flipped over toward FaZe because we were asking a question before, how does Complexity break out of this? Well, job done. They achieved that goal, and they're getting dangerously close to being able to close this one out. So now the question is, how does FaZe break out of this? Because they have found those moments in the past, but Complexity, they're making this really difficult for them to do so. Only a hair's breadth away from being able to get into that hill, and oh my goodness, FaZe managed to get their bodies in there in time, and they're holding this one down. Does Complexity have what it takes to dig deep and get inside of that hill in this critical moment in time? They do not, and FaZe pick up the dub, and Frosty lets them know what's really good.
How often do you see Frosty pop off?
Yeah.
And he is getting pumped here in pool play. You realize that Complexity came out to play.
Yeah.
They were able to shut him up. There must have been some back and forth throughout that we didn't see. Didn't get to hear all the behind the scenes drama. But Frosty just steps up, lets them know that they are more clutch. FaZe icing it up when they need to.
Yeah.
Closing out a crucial game 1 in a so close 4-3.
Yeah, that one was, that was a heartbreaker for Complexity, without a doubt. They did practically everything right there in those critical moments that you would want them to come up clutch. They did it, Complexity. But when it matters most, FaZe Clan, they always find that next level that they have to hit in order to push forward into the series, in order to push forward with the dub. Truly incredible stuff. But I think what this shows us here, Dave, is that we got ourselves a little bit of a series here. I wouldn't be shocked if this goes to 5 with how Complexity is playing. They just got to bring that same kind of firepower into map 2 and 3.
Yeah, they do, and I mean, it's so tough, like, for Complexity there. I felt like they played so well. They had it to the very end, and FaZe just made one concentrated, perfect push together. Nobody panicked on the FaZe side as they made that last push. They took their time. Eventually, somebody was able to get towards back tower, took over tower, and they took over the hill and get 3 kills. And Rayne was the only one left standing that could have tried to get a stop. Obviously, you're not going to win a 1v3 or 1v4 against FaZe, and that just closed it out for them in the end. And this play by SnakeBite 2 over at Green, staying alive for so long in a situation where they didn't have full control. It was just like this half setup where they had nest side, and he continually held the left side or the nest side of Green.
Yeah, very well played there by the captain, of course. Well played there by both squads, but it is going to be FaZe who manage to get themselves a crucial map 1 victory here. Live Fire, King of the Hill. Now we move forward. Slayer, Solitude. What do we have in store here as Complexity? This is a great opportunity, right? It's a good map for some shenanigans. It's a good opportunity for guys like, RyaNoob to, be able to move around the map efficiently. You can set up Breakingshot with Snipe and let him just go to town. There's a lot of win conditions, Dave, for Complexity in this one.
A lot of opportunities there, but they also just have to bounce back from the last one. Those ones can be an emotional roller coaster as you're through a game that you're like, all right, especially when they got up 3-2 in that game. They're like, 3-2, we just got to hold them out for, oh wait, SnakeBite's already in there, and SnakeBite's not getting out of the Green Hill.
No,
so that's a tough one, and then losing those back-to-back, especially when it was in their hands. End of the game was in their hands, but we are going to go on to Slayer Solitude. You got the camo. you got the shock rifle, and you got a whole lot of ground in the bottom middle where people can be sneaky.
Oh, yeah. You know, look, I'm just going to say this, a little aside. It's kind of cool. FaZe red, complexity blue, and they're both red and blue. So this way, my eyes don't
That's
get
your
confused.
takeaway from all that?
That's my takeaway.
I'm talking complex strategies here on the map. Like, favorite,
I just thought, I was like, oh, they're the same color.
Christmas is blue and green.
No. All right, well, seems like we had a technical issue. So it's all good.
We got turmoil within the teams. Renegade betraying SnakeBite. I don't know what's going on with these guys.
Yeah, I don't know. So much is happening. I did realize, though, maybe the sides need to be flipped. I don't know. I'm crazy. In any case, so let's see. How does complexity, right? Who do they lean on in this game? And I do believe, based off of what we saw in that map one, Breakingshot.
Breakingshot for sure. Like, I know there's always that fallacy that's called out, like the hot hand fallacy.
Yeah.
I agree in the sense that maybe when it comes to like placing a bet or certain things like that, yes, there's obviously a fallacy in there. But there is something to it when somebody's on fire, when it's their day.
Yeah.
Especially in a game like Halo, where it's who's making the correct decisions. You have to make, you know, you have 50 different options to do, and you have a few that are the great options. And in Halo, when those players are making those right options, hitting the shots, and everything's going right for them, you can expect that sort of fire to carry through on a series. And so in a spot like that, if it's a question of, hey, we have a shock rifle and we have time to drop it to give it to somebody,
yeah,
you give it to your player who's on fire.
Yeah, you certainly do.
You every time.
You know, one of those individuals who has had, on the FaZe side, a decent amount of success this weekend has been Royal 2. We're talking a lot about Frosty, but Royal 2 has been a bit of a X factor at times for this team, especially with the way that he posts up and gives them so many resources to work with how he really just plays the map so efficiently. That being said, though, you can pretty much make the stats about anyone on FaZe, and I think you'd be perfectly fine because each player has had, I would say, throughout the day, each player has had a moment, you know, like a shining moment, whether it's on the objective, whether it's on the slays. And Wes said he wanted to see this FaZe team really, you know, work on that objective efficiency, even though we're going into Slayer. I felt like if we were in a similar position in SLC with FaZe, Dave, I think they would have lost that live fire King of the Hill game from SLC. So you can see that work that has been put in.
Yeah,
by
and
SnakeBite and the team.
And that's what you know, people always talk about, like, you know, as you're going through and practicing, you want to be able to perform when you're at your arguably worst or the worst case scenario situations. And right there it really was a very bad scenario for FaZe. The other team had the full hill, they had full set, they had one push to do.
Yeah.
They spread out perfectly, they made the push, and that's just from all those years of practice, of training, of talking through VOD and talking through those situations. Like, all right, backs against the wall, we gotta make push here. Who's the one that's first going in? Who has the opportunity to make the entry play?
You know, FaZe fans and FaZe have to feel pretty confident coming into Halo World Championship 2024 with that HCS warm-up victory, same as they did last year. FaZe are looking to see if history, better yet, if lightning can strike twice for the boys in red. But this has been one of, if not the most competitive years of the HCS ever. And it is truly anyone's tournament to win. All of these teams have an opportunity to be able to do it. It just comes down to who is going to put up in those moments. And as we kick things off of Frosty, he gets bombarded by a lot of grenades. You need to see if they can get this camo here, Dave.
Dude, I love watching Rayne's POV on here. He's always looking like he's confused. He's like, I thought you said he was behind me, man. Like, he's always... I just get that sense from him that he's confused, even though whether he's getting a triple kill or overkill or whatever, it's a confusing overkill.
Yeah, you know, he's got an intent face. You know, that's what you want out of a player. You know, I wouldn't want a guy who's looking all happy-go-lucky up there. Send him back. 6-4 in the count here, just starting things off, and we're starting to see FaZe get a little bit of this early-ish control, just trying to muscle them out of those key positions. And now that they have this camouflage too, Frosty's given them so much intel. And I love the different approaches we've been seeing, Dave, to how players have been playing with this camouflage. Uh-oh, that was a Mario stomp right there, if I've ever seen one.
And oddly enough, you know that he's practiced that where he knows he can jump on someone's head and get the back smack there.
Because if I did that,
otherwise he wouldn't have risked that. He wouldn't have risked any chance that it was like a front melee or anything like that. So he's practiced that, which is frightening.
Which is frightening. I like you just say that with like, that's how you end the sentence. We just practice that.
Which is frightening.
This is frightening.
Period.
Yeah, I'm horrified. He's too good. Still though, anyone's game, complexity, they're keeping this one very, very close. 3 kills separating them. at any point in time, Cole can find that opportunity, but could be a triple kill for SnakeBite. Instead, he's gonna have to just suffice for a double. But he'll take that 4-kill lead here for sure for FaZe. And his players, they're putting in some work here at the bottom of the map. Royal 2 just trying to tag as many players as he can, get involved in the fight, but also play his life if he can.
Royal 2 just gonna hunt over here at U-turn. Almost gets turned on, but not likely to happen against someone like Royal 2. That's just be kills traded back and forth here. When things get chaotic here, I don't almost say Slayer any mode. People are going to keep rejoining the fights.
Yeah.
They're going to make sure that they're not just going to sit back and say, all right, we'll wait for the next spawners and stuff. They're going to say, I can sit on the outskirts here and join this battle a little bit. And then you get sucked in. You're like, well, maybe I'll just go over near the Prius and go fight from there.
Exactly.
And all of a sudden, you're in the midst of the fight.
Yeah, you're right in the middle of the action.
You're back in the middle of it.
And now you're up by 8. And it seems like FaZe, though, they are not allowing Complexity any of those opportunities, any of those clean fights. It has been just brutal for FaZe every single time Complexity looks to set something up. Someone from FaZe is there to immediately disrupt it, and it's been coming off of a lot of these camo plays too that we've been seeing from earlier from Frosty and now from SnakeBite. Really just giving them info because they know exactly where they are.
Also interesting enough that those grenades are hitting SnakeBite right there. I don't think they even spotted him, but it must just be such a common spot to hold as you got this center map set up. And people are saying, it's very difficult when somebody's over at that plasma corner. Let's just make sure we pre-nade that, get them out of there, flush them out, and then actually move across the center of the map.
Yeah, it's like, but it's the fact that you got to do that work.
Yes.
and you got to put effort to do that work. And while that's happening, you're already going to be down by a sizable amount here, right? Because when that happened, they went down by 10. And now look at the scoreboard. I mean, it's just astronomically different here, right? FaZe have just added so much more cushion for themselves that at this point, they could just be a little bit more ginger with how they want to approach this.
Yeah, I mean, they're just sitting in the driver's seat right now. It is much more comfortable here where you're not feeling like you have to make perfect plays and perfect 2-for-1s or anything like that, but also helps when you have someone like Renegade who's also just going to turn that into a near double kill.
But we have seen these leads in the past diminish in a heartbeat. Whether or not that happens to FaZe here, obviously yet to be seen, but Complexity, if they can get that opening, if they can get 2 players down and start to coordinate together and get the next 4, that would be the best possible situation for them to start to get those spawns in their favor, but it is not happening. I mean, the snowball is real, and on top of that, FaZe got themselves another camo.
Yeah, but I like the way that SnakeBite's playing this camo.
Yeah.
Just deciding to shoot right away. He doesn't have to be the sneaky player that's going to try to get a back smack during a flank. Instead, hold numbers with your teammates, shoot them across the map, and then where the opportunity presents itself, he can be a little sneakier if he wants to be.
Yeah. And the sneakiness certainly paid off there for SnakeBite. Gets himself 2 players, 2 more down. That's going to be 38-20, an 18 frag lead for FaZe here at the Halo World Championship, showing that, hey, they are quite good at that Slayer game time.
I know you said before, sometimes we'll see like a 10-kill lead disappear after a setup, but we rarely see a 20-kill lead disappear.
Yeah, that one's a little bit more...
So this one's going to be very, very tough for Complexity. I actually don't know if I've seen a comeback from this large of a deficit, so Complexity might have to go back to the drawing board and be focused on game number 3.
There's no other choice that they have here if it keeps going like this. 8 kills remaining here for FaZe. A dominant performance in game 2 here on the main stage. Complexity left scrambling. What happened? What went wrong? It kind of feels like he got hit with a sledgehammer. Nice win there for Rayne, but it's okay because Royal 2 will pick up that kill, and each and every time you get that trade, it's great for FaZe. You only need 5.
Breakingshot gonna try to close this one out here a little bit. Get a couple more kills, make it a little bit more respectable, but end of the day, this one, it's over, as we talked about, Golden Boy.
Yeah. But then again, imagine.
I could imagine. It's the Halo World Championship, and I would pop off with them as well. I doubt I'd do a good job commentating towards the final 5 kills if Complexity were really able to bring this one back, but we will have to see. But there's a start of it, if anything. There's a killing spree.
Yeah.
Now we just need to see 21 more kills.
We just need to see 21 more kills. But you know what, though, Dave? I did say previously that I felt like one of the big things that they needed to do, get a couple, like, get 2 players put in a really bad spot, and then try and, you know, test your luck that way. And hey, they did it. The problem is they did it when they only have 4 kills left to give. And now you have 1 more remaining. SnakeBite's got himself the camo. It ain't gonna matter. It's gonna be a back whack to end it, and that will be all she wrote on map 2.
Also, sometimes it's a sense of pride too, like denying them getting like a final cap, or in this case, denying them a stake. So they made it a 50-31 game. Respectable there, given that it was down to such a big deficit. But either way, FaZe dominating game 2 after barely squeaking out game 1.
All right, well, FaZe up 2-0. And this is an opportunity here for Complexity. Take a little bit of a bathroom break, you know, chill out a bit, right? Talk about what's been going on.
Absolutely, especially if you don't feel like you have much momentum. If you have an opportunity to take a quick break, throw them off a little bit, like do any sort of thing you can. I feel like that's just what the best option is when you're in that position. Generally, if things are going well for you, like, hey, let's jump into next game right away.
Yeah,
things aren't going so hot, and the series has been going a while. It's like, hey, actually, need to take a break. Give us 5 minutes, time out.
Well, good news for Complexity fans as we get ready for map number 3. Statistically speaking, at least, like both teams pretty much coming at this one with similar expectations, you know, with a 1-2 record. But let's not forget that, you know, you got a FaZe Clan team that really is hitting, Dave. Like they're not missing these shots. The pushes have been clean. The coordination has been immaculate. Honestly, it's quite scary to see the way that they have been coordinating so efficiently here. It's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a challenge.
It will be a challenge. The one thing I've also noticed is it feels like, obviously both teams played so incredibly well during game 1, but during game 2, the thing that I mainly noticed was when FaZe started to get a lead, they kept that pace up for quite a bit and kept that pressure on. So it felt like you'd see all these members of Complexity kind of continue to fall in these traps, and anytime there's that chaotic, like, neutral situation, it felt like FaZe would get a kill or 2 and then just keep rolling that advantage.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas I didn't feel like that from Complexity. I felt like a lot of Complexity's kills were like kind of answer kills, and then couldn't really be transitioned into much after that. It wasn't like they could get 2 kills and then like go for a spawn trap over near hotel.
Outside of that first hill that Cole got, where they looked like in firm control, and RyaNoob got the 2nd camo, and they were doing everything right. That was probably the most control that we saw from Cole in this series. And I
mean, throughout that, all throughout that King of the Hill game, they had many times where they were in really strong control.
Yeah, they had
game number 2, I didn't really see that one single time.
Yeah, but I never really felt confident, right, in Complexity's, you know, when we got down to the wire and Complexity made that push happen in map 1, then I'm like, okay, great. This is Complexity's biggest opportunity here to be able to squeak by with a win. But then when that doesn't happen, when you get stopped at the front door like that, the way that Complexity did, that is a tough one to dig yourself out of. So that Slayer Solitude score does not shock me all that much, considering that a lot went into that map 1 game 1, and it just did not play out in their favor. So they will need to do it here on Recharge Strongholds, but good news is that it's Recharge Strongholds, right? Opportunities for players like RyaNoob to do some magic here, right? For Rayne to slay, for Breakingshot to be on fire, right there.
Absolutely. But let's take a quick look at how pool play has been shaken out so far as we're going through these final rounds. This one is important here for Complexity because if they lose this, they will be starting in the elimination bracket for tomorrow on Saturday.
Yeah, and
I mean, Agave, I think, just surprised everyone here.
They went 2-3, went map 5 against FaZe Clan.
Yeah,
proving that this is a team that can very well compete, you know, at the highest levels. And we saw it as well in SLC when they were formerly known as Alpha Esports. They came out and knocked out Sentinels.
Yeah.
So, you know, that was a massive, massive upset. So shout out to those guys. This game is going to be big for Complexity.
Yeah, so Complexity going to see if they can bring it back in this series. They want to see if they can somehow force a 3-way tie into the bracket or into their pool. But they got the work cut out from them. I mean, FaZe, they just look like they're playing phenomenally. Like, FaZe is one of those rosters where you start to say, okay, if FaZe aren't playing super great and the other team's on fire, like, you almost need a couple of those factors to align, it feels like, to take them out in a series. But it is very difficult when those factors like FaZe who are playing well.
The stars are not aligning, Dave.
No, they are not.
Someone call Neil. We need to read on the stars because right now it ain't looking good.
Pale blue dot on game 5. It's so far away. You have to get past game 3 to get to game 5.
Wait, are you a fortune teller? I didn't know that. Is that another career? Oh man, first Red Bull professional player, now fortune teller.
Actually, no, I did get to see Neil. He did the old Carl Sagan speech when I went to a speech of his. He did.
So you're an intellectual?
I wouldn't say that. Most people wouldn't call me an intellectual, but
yeah, I definitely wouldn't. All right, well,
it's pretty fun watching him do that speech in front of the audience. So.
Hell yeah. I totally agree with that. And I also agree with a beautiful triple cap here from FaZe Clan to start things off. That's called a segue, people. But with a trip cap to start, FaZe already show that what we saw in maps 1 and especially in map 2 ain't slowing down anytime soon if they keep playing them like this.
Such a heads-up play there by Frosty, just knowing how to grapple out there, like he realized he has time to get one shot. And that's just part of the quick decision-making you see at this highest level of play. Yes, he didn't turn around and get another kill after that or turn that around, but he lived so much longer instead of just challenging maybe a second shock rifle shot there. He's able to reposition towards top A. Maybe his teammate helps him get that finish before, but that's one thing that why Halo will always remain one of my favorite title and my favorite series is because of all those decisions you get to make during a fight.
Oh yeah, and these players, I mean, see the micro decisions that they constantly are being forced to have to, you know, settle on here, and that is going to be a trip cap now for Complexity. Their turn to strike here. And you were complimenting before about how well FaZe had kept themselves alive in those situations, right? But it seems like once Complexity got rolling, they are not stopping. You had RyaNoob with a killing spree there, but just as I say that, FaZe, they managed to flip C and are in a process of getting A, which are successful.
Yep, and in a case like this, you're going to see FaZe happily trade A or C for that B hill. We're going to have to see exactly how or when they'll do that, but they're in a position right now that says that Complexity has to be the aggressor. Otherwise, time's going to slowly tick down. And here comes C. Now let's see if FaZe are actually going to able to turn over and grab B during this time where Complexity are pressuring C. And it looks like they're going to have to give up C here.
Yeah, I mean...
No, they don't have the numbers to jump into B.
I thought the Frosty got that melee, and it didn't work out there. So, yeah, hate to see it, kids. But, hey, you're just going to have to dust yourself off and just move forward there. No other thing you got to do. But 3 down now for FaZe. Players starting to come up here. You got 2 down on the Complexity side. Frosty looking to get in the action there. And he will stop, at the very least, someone trying to make that cap happen. But it's Breakingshot's turn to flip this in his favor. He's got 2 teammates up there to back him up. But look at SnakeBite working alongside World 2, the tandem duo. And they stop that cap right at the nick of time, and they flip it.
That is a huge stop there. Even though SnakeBite would have been able to clean it up, but it just frees up that player so much more. No longer do you have to have a static player just sitting over towards top A where people know he's guaranteed to be there. Instead, they have to check extra corners. They can't overload a certain side of the map.
SnakeBite knew someone was going to be around here. He heard their footsteps. And Breakingshot thought he was a little clever with that one. Didn't really work out in his favor. So he's been doing excellent work over here. Now he's going to just push his way toward control, right? He's got a few players that are going to be hanging out toward there. They know exactly where they are. They have great positioning along the map. They just have to be ready. And now Complexity now has to coordinate this push.
Yeah, we're going to see where they decide to make it. And
ooh, I like it.
A lot of times you do have to go for A if you have those options. It's just sometimes too tough to overload B. If you jump into B too early, everywhere across the map can see you. There's very few spots across the map, besides somewhere like in pipes, that don't have an angle to challenge B.
Big shot for Renegade, looking for a second one. He got him, he tagged him, and his teammate was there for the pickup. So that is going to be a flip A site now. 123 points have been accrued here for FaZe thus far. And they have them pinned. A camo has been grabbed too. Frosty's got himself the commando. He's going to try and look to go to work with this.
Let's see how Frosty decides to play this one. Looks like Royal 2 gets a pick with the remote detonation, also traded a Huss, so that takes off half the players on the map. You know Frosty with the first shot here, he's going to be feeling pretty good. Commando right into RyaNoob, plus the reset. Continued control here for FaZe.
Well, let's see how FaZe continues on with this control. 147 to 79 and counting. We'll jump in with a listen in.
Long probably?
Yeah, waste your time, Don. Waste your time.
Nice, John.
Nice. One more.
Long. Long and back C, I think?
Hit me with a gun nade. Long and back C, long and back C, long and back C.
I'm just living. In B, in B, in B.
He's on
Top of your own red steps.
Ready, one mid.
When it's up here, Rayne. Kill me L2. No beat down.
Top A cat, in, pushing, dropping, elevator.
Shit, John.
To your
Holy
left, to your left. Can I help you, man?
He's getting to you. He's top A, John, top A. Nice, good shit.
Let's do it.
Yeah, Brad, I'm going red again. Spawning where?
Come
Okay, heard that. Yeah, watch your guys spawn. There's container here. Careful your guys spike, Floki. They're gonna move up. They got damage on us. I'm just saying I'm gone.
They can't. I'm turbine. Swipes. Yeah, they swamp.
Bottom B, there's AK weekend, bottom A.
One shot,
John's gonna die here.
Go on.
I'm pushing Chief here, Brad. Where's this guy?
One step A.
No, I can defend B.
Top A cat. Yo, 2B.
I'm probably dead. I'm gonna die. Top window, both on Brad.
Cam on 20, guys. Cam on 20.
One hit, BR steps.
One's A. Yeah,
Suitcase back blue. You want to see pop?
Back A, one shot. He's back A, one shot.
Him one center.
There's 3 there. Is that? The lobby crash.
All right, so we had a disconnect there, but we were hearing some damn good comms from FaZe in that one. Even that instance where he's like, yeah, John's dead, Renegade's dead. Oh, he gets killed.
Yeah, somehow squeaks out a couple kills. We saw that before when he was over at C, and then you heard it over at that elevator. Do or die here in just a moment. 193 to 86. Let's see who tries to make the first move. Breakingshot takes out Renegade to kick it off.
That could be quite helpful for them to get control of that camo down low. I don't know if anyone's been able to grab it just yet. Trying to get some eyes on who might have that weapon, or sorry, that power item in their possession here. But so far, so good for Complexity, as they'll manage to get that A and B control out of the start there. But just like say that, you got Renegade who's going to be inside of that site.
Yeah, one part about getting B is you need to make sure you're doing it when you can still stay alive. It's different if you're flipping it from the opposing team and forcing them to go back in it. But in a situation where you're taking the neutral B, that can be dangerous. And right there, you saw Complexity committed towards getting B. They get slayed, and now FaZe have that fabled trip cap. And Complexity have no room for error. They have to break out of this quick. Look at how fast those points are going up on the board, Golden Boy.
Yeah, this thing is flying here. And now that they have this trip cap control, it ain't going to get any better here. You got to do something now. You got to respond right now. You only got 3 points remaining, or you get onto C, but it ain't going to happen. And GG, FaZe Clan, just like that. Blink, and you missed it. Pick up the win. Pick up the series 3-0. And end pool play in clean fashion. And unfortunately for Complexity, they'll be taking a trip to that lower bracket, considering that they lost to Akave earlier. But we will be seeing Cole later on, and hopefully they can take what happened here today, grow from it, learn from it, and come back even stronger, especially with the veterans that are on that side of the field. But the day belongs to FaZe Clan, and they look good, Walshy.
Yeah, FaZe are looking strong. Even at a time where Complexity, they were playing so well, especially in game one, and we saw a lot of brilliant moments from so many individual players there from Complexity. But end of the day, just shut down.
Yeah.
Sometimes just get shut down, and then FaZe do their thing. FaZe as always.
Yeah, it's just, you know, click on heads, right?
Yeah.
That's basically what
Simple as that.
At the end of the day, it's a shooting game. You gotta hit those shots, and FaZe are hitting them. They are feeling it. If FaZe is on fire, that could be problematic for the rest of the field here, considering that we saw this script kind of play out last year at the Halo World Championship. Don't want to, you know, harp on that too much here, given how this season has played out, especially with Space Station Gaming having a hot season here, and then Optic Gaming constantly coming in that second place spot, but very, very easily can win these events too. So really, when you think about it, there is a lot of pressure on FaZe, but if you're a FaZe fan, you got to be feeling nice and pretty right now.
Yeah,
they look good.
Great.
Yeah. They definitely do. They look fantastic. Is Blaze ready to go? He's ready. Blaze, you ready?
I'm ready.
You ready? All right,
yeah,
let's go ahead. Let's go ahead.
Come on, bring it on. Bring it on over, everybody, okay?
Do the NWO thing. It's all.
Oh, throw it over. Throw it over, G.
Baby, I got you. Boom.
We got it over here. Everybody make some noise for FaZe Clan on the main stage.